Good evening, everybody. Bonsoir à tous. Welcome to our open day for the Master of International Business. Let's present myself. I'm Professor of Management, Intercultural Management, Marketing. My career was in the US, in UK, in France, Middle East, and I have also numerous insights on China and globally to Asia. Today I will be with three students of the master, Roman Comborel, Yassine Ben Miled, Arthur Marco. We'll be able to answer to all your questions as well. Our program officer, Céline, will assist us. So Dauphine, actually, as you know, most of you probably, Dauphine is a decision science school of PSL University. For those of you who are not from Dauphine, PSL University is ranked worldwide, both in the THE ranking and the Shanghai ranking and the QS ranking, most of the time at the first or second position in France, and globally between the 20th position and the 40th position. Today we are going to talk about the Master of International Business, which is part of the Master of Management of Dauphine PSL. Actually, we'll do a first presentation and go in details on the objectives of the master and what we can deliver. The MIB primary objective is to integrate coursework and practical experience in the professional field. What we mean is actually we are going to focus both on study, work, learning, and experience. You will acquire knowledge and skills in international management, project management, new technologies, as well as digital innovations. So there's a focus on project management, which is very important when you go abroad. A significant focus will be placed on digital projects. But bear in mind, actually, when you join our master, you will be general in terms of management, and you will get the tools to be able to manage a project internationally, which this is a really key core objective of the program. So our philosophy is learn, apply, and master. Actually, most of the students are embedded in the real world. They work in companies, so there's an alternate mode between 3 days a day, 3 days a week in the company, 2 days a week at the university over 14 months period. So this is very important because you go back and forth from the industry to the classroom. And that way you learn more, you get more immediate on the different subject. So which means actually when you join us, you can join us at the first year of masters. Some of you maybe have been attending to the presentation of the M1 Management and Organization. So you go to the first year of master. Basically, if you're a student at Dauphine in bachelor, or if you are students in French business school at bachelor level with grade de licence, this is where you get into. Either is as the normal regular track or the apprenticeship track, which is a track with 3 days a week in the company and 2 days a week at the university. Most of our students, when they are not in the apprenticeship, they go through a gap year internship. This is very important because during that year, you go in internship in France or abroad. So you can have many of the students can get internship in the Gulf, in the US, in many places around the world. Or you go in the NGOs, non-governmental organization, which is a way also to discover new things. The year 2, and this is we are going to focus today on the Master of International Business track, which is the International Business track. You can go through the regular track or apprenticeship, as I mentioned earlier. You can go for a dual degree with the Louis University or Tongji University in Shanghai. This is open to our students who are in the 3rd year of bachelor. There's a specific application to join that double degree. And most of the students have the possibility when they join the 1st year to go through international exchange mobility. So this year, then you are in the regular track. We can go on these details later on, and actually our students as well as Mrs. Tillier can answer to this specific element later on. Our students are coming from abroad, so there are something like 60% of our students are French and 40% of our students are international. So for our international students, this is a way to get a strong experience in France, and for our French students, it's a way to cultivate and to learn about intercultural communication during their studies. Our students coming from more than 20 countries, and we are expanding. The master has been opened 20 years ago, and now we have students working all over the world. So the schedule, actually, when you join the Master of International Business, first, September 25, this is the intake. Then you have 1 full month of course. Then from October to 25 to March 26, you are on alternate mode, which means 3 days a week in the company, 2 days a week in the university. And then from April 26 to September 26, you'll be full-time with the company. So at the end, you will have a strong, very strong research orientation as well as a practical orientation. And your master thesis has to be completed before September the 30th, 26, sorry. So the second year of master, for which we are going to focus, is on 3 major blocks: international management, international strategy, international project management. When you study international management, you go through corporate finance, digital marketing, supply chain, but all this is actually globally and with an international application. Of course, when you go to international strategy, we are going to reinforce, to stress on geopolitical challenges. Business is very much influenced by political tensions, international relations. So this is very important to integrate the reality of international relations into the business. And project management, as I mentioned earlier and during the introduction, project management is actually about methods, change management, and it's to be able to plan and to schedule the changes or the project you want to develop and to lead and to pilot during your time. When you join our program, actually you have a strong exposure to different companies. We are working with Accenture, Amazon, OnePoint, Allianz, HP, Microsoft, Kering, LVMH, L'Oreal, and many others large groups. So our students are really in a very diverse fields, project management in different type of industries. So we are not industry oriented. People can be in the luxury industry as well as in the business consulting industry, as well as in the pharmaceutical industry. Some of our students today are in Sanofi, in international affairs. I mean, they work in different areas just to develop and to work for international. When you join the Master at Dauphine, actually, something like 35%, 55% of our students have already a job offer 3 months before graduation, and 100% of our students have a job offer 3 months after graduation. So this is a strong bet on the fact you are going to get a job at the end. And for all Dauphine, it's about 43K euro a year. 1/4, 25% of our students are working abroad out of France after graduation. So in summary, what's specific about the Master of International Business? And then we can go on questions through the chat. Basically, we are international business with a concentration on digital projects. We have more than 20 companies each year who are actually trusting our program. 50% of our courses are being taught by company executives. The program is 100% in English, so all the professors are teaching in English, all the coursework is in English, so you are in an international language from the day one to the last day. And of course, international students, we welcome them to learn French. It's important to learn French and to expand the other languages you can develop, and you will have specific help on this. Dauphine is actually, it is one of the international Dauphine very highly regarded by companies. It's one of the rare program in Dauphine taught in English. So this is very important for your job adaptation worldwide. Students are embedded in large international companies and corporations, as we mentioned many times. So what we call through apprenticeship, and this is very important, and this is a strong link. How to apply? First, what are actually the criteria and the requirements to join our programs? Clearly, you need to have a TOEFL certification of 92. So this is clearly very important. TOEFL is preferred to other type of certification, or the Cambridge C1. Maximum age of 30 years old. You need to have a significant international experience. What do we mean by significant international experience? Either you have an international degree. Well, if you're coming abroad, that's basically what we expect. Or you have been at least one semester as an exchange mobility student, or you have done an international internship of at least 4 to 6 months. This is very important to have this international experience to share during your program all the experience you had with other students. Requirement Master 1, if you have to access to M2. French Bachelor with a grade de licence will apply in first year of the first year. This is a selective master program. All applications that meet the requirements will be considered. If the application is strong and there's a genuine interest in international study, well, the student may apply. So to apply, make sure you have a language test, an international experience of some sort. If you had your high school for 10 years abroad and then only the last 5 years in France, for example, you may apply. This is the most important, is we want to have this international experience. And then you go through our platform. Probably if you join today, that's something very important, because actually you know that there is a portal which is called My Candidature. So you go on the website of Dauphine, and then you have a step-by-step way to go there. And then the registration is now open until February the 25th. Not the 2035, the 25th at 6 p.m. So I hope that all this information will help you in choosing for the Master of International Business within the Master of Management. Application will be done through a resume, a motivation letter, transcript of grades and marks, your TOEFL certification. GMAT score is if available, but it is not a requirement. You have some questions to which you need to answer, and any other useful document to enhance your application. Very important, the letter of motivation, please don't use ChatGPT. I mean, it's very useful sometimes, but when all the letters are exactly the same, this doesn't make you different from others. So please be different, but not copy and paste an artificial intelligence later. So thank you for your attention, and we are ready to answer to your different questions.
I think some questions are in the chat. Should we read them out loud and reply?
Yes, we can go through. For applying, what do you mean by less appreciated, please? I'm sorry, but I don't remember. Maybe you can specify on which sentence did I say that. For applying, I take the second one. For applying in the apprenticeship mode in M2, we must have already professional experience. And it is important that during your gap year, you have some international experience or some professional experience. What we mean having at least an internship. Companies are looking for somebody after 4 to 5 years of study to have at least some experience, 6 months of experience as an intern somewhere. So this is important to increase your chances. Questions is about what is the ideal length of the motivation letter? 1.5 pages, 2 pages, not more. You need to actually we expect you to explain why you want to join this program. Joining this program is an investment, so we need to have this information. The next question is, if you have both French and Irish nationalities, do I need to have an English test? Nationality is not a condition to speaking English. So if you studied in Ireland for many years, then this is considered as valid. But if you are Irish and you had all your life in France, I don't have your certification of English. So you need to justify why you don't put the English test. Does international experience get been done during the gap year after the M1? Definitely yes. On the side with the English test score requirement, there is less appreciated. Yes, what I mean is the TOEIC is less appreciated. The TOEFL is preferred. For Dauphine students, is it possible to complete an exchange during the first year? During the first year, there's a possibility to enroll within the double diploma with a Luis in Roma or with the Stonji in Shanghai. So when you join, actually, there's a specific application for these double degrees. So if you join the double degrees, we have 5 seats reserved for Luis and 2 to 3 seats reserved for Tongji. If you go to the Luis, the M1 is in Roma, and the M2 in Paris. When actually Tongji, the M1 is in Paris and the M2 in Shanghai.
There are more questions in the chat, and there's also a raised hand. I don't know if anyone wants to speak up.
I'll try to go because there's so many questions. So maybe I continue to take the questions. So if some of you want to take the answer, go ahead. Is it possible to attend apprenticeship track without French language? Are they only done in French or does it vary? Well, actually, companies and some of the apprenticeship can be in English. So there's no requirement to speak French. But of course, for day-to-day life in Paris, it's better to be able to learn French and to speak a bit French. But you can apply without speaking French. But you need to have an excellent English.
Yeah, if I can,
yes, please.
I can confirm, like, we have a few comrades in the class who are only English speakers and they found an apprenticeship. So it is definitely possible.
So this was Arthur, one of our students in AMIB this year.
There's a question of someone asking how many undergraduate students from Dauphine are usually accepted versus people not from Dauphine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think in our class it's half and half of
Yeah, I
people
would say
coming
half
from
half.
Dauphine and people not coming from Dauphine.
Yes, actually, yes,
I agree.
it's 50 to 60% coming from Dauphine when you include the M1 apprenticeship and M1 regular track. And in addition, if the questions are mainly what the percentage of the Dauphine students applying to the track are being selected, I think from my memory, we are around 1 out of 3. But you know, if you are from Dauphine, you have 3 choices you can make, both in management, and most of the students applying to management apply to management and marketing, so you have many choices.
There's another person asking, when applying for the double degree, if we're not selected for the double degree, is our application still considered for the initial program? I know I did the double degree, and when I asked the question back in the days, they said that if I didn't get in the double degree, I could still be considered in the initial program. So I think that yes, you can be
Yes.
considered.
There's no change. Roman, do you want to tell more about your double degree experience?
Yes, sure. So I was at Dauphine for my bachelor's, the 3 years, and I applied as a Dauphine student in L3. I applied to the Louis double degree, and I got accepted. So I did my M1 at Louis University with 3 other MIB students from France and 3 other MIB students from Italy who were doing the double degree the opposite side. And so it's a full year. It's not just a semester, and you graduate from Louis and Dauphine. So I think it's a great advantage because you have 2 degrees instead of 1. All classes are taught in English, so Italian is not a requirement. And yep, that's about it. If anyone is more interested into applying to Louis, they can reach out to me because I did this track.
We have many more questions. Actually, I'll take 2 of them. One of them is, what are the most important criteria for admission to the M1 apprenticeship? Grades, international experience. Well, actually, we are looking for very strong students because actually the apprenticeship rhythm is a tough one. So we are looking for students who want practical experience and are very rapid, very quick to attend and to work on their lessons. So grades is a key thing. International experience, well, we need to have somebody with an international experience. At least just 1 semester abroad during your years of bachelor will be enough. And as well as your community involvement, but the community involvement is something that we value for everybody, not only for apprenticeship, for everybody. This is a very important thing. We are looking at people involved in their community. Then there's another question, which is actually typically, sorry for international students, but typically a French one. What about the bachelor with the grade de licence? So I mean, this is a bachelor from business schools. Well, the rule at Dauphine is people with BBA from some of the French business schools, whatever they are 3 or 4 years, well, they must apply through the M1. This is a rule at Dauphine, so the master cannot change anything with that. And of course, we invite you to apply at M1 level in that case. Any advice on tips for international students to apply? You want to apply to M2? Well, we expect the same thing from French students, community involvement. And that can be different things. It's about caring about other people. So that's the first a basic thing, caring about people. We want really to make sure our students, and actually this is true for all tracks in Dauphine, caring about people, this is something we value very much. Then the second thing is your experience and your interest for international issues. There's a question from Arthur Dulac. How many undergraduate students from Dauphine are usually accepted in the master of each year? When it comes to M1, correct me if I'm wrong, Arthur and Roman, but you are about 30 to 32 students globally, double degrees plus apprenticeship plus regular track.
Did you mean
The question
total?
was, how many students are we?
Yes, how many students from Dauphine are you in M2? You are on
From
30?
Dauphine?
Yes.
Roman might know. I don't know. I come from outside Dauphine.
That's okay.
It must be.
I would
Yeah,
say
I would
20
say.
to 25.
Yeah, you
Right,
said half. I
25
think you
and
were
some
right.
others from out of Dauphine, I guess. Yes. There's a question if admitted as an external student, what is the deadline to apply for an exchange in M2? If you're an external student, you cannot have exchange on M2 because we do prepare the people who are in their gap year at the moment for exchange next year. So deadlines don't fit.
Maybe if we missed out on some questions, maybe it's easier if people raise their hand and ask them orally. I don't know what you think.
I agree. I agree. It would be easier for us to follow. I cannot see the raise hand though. Can you?
There's
three.
yes,
Maybe
some
we
raised
should.
hand.
Maybe.
Maybe you can. Let's start with there's Baptiste, I think, raising his hands.
Yeah, thank you.
Marc as well. So maybe start with Baptiste.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. I'm in Master 1 Affaires Internationales et Développement at Dauphine, with major economics. And is it possible to apply to this Master 2 after a gap year?
Yes, it's possible. We are looking at applications from other Master at Dauphine, like an external application. But if you have your gap year with requirements, yes, we can look at it.
Okay, thank you very much. And I have just a second question about the TOEFL. Is the my best score accepted or not?
Excuse me, can you repeat the question?
The my best score of the TOEFL, is it accepted or not?
Yes, you need to have a certification. That's it.
Okay, so if we have a my best score that is over 92, it's okay.
Over more than 2 years, this is what you mean?
Like, with the TOEFL,
yes.
If you passed the TOEFL many times,
yes,
you have a my best score, and is it accepted or you?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Okay. Thank you very much.
There's a question of Paul Jean.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Thank you for the presentation. I have a question. I'm already a student in a Master 2, in a Master of International Business, but fully in French. And so I wanted to know if we are already graduated for a Master. Do we have the possibility to still apply and to integrate the Master 2?
You have the right to apply,
Okay.
but considering we have many applications, we have a tendency to prefer students who don't have the exact same certification to go into the master. So, for example, if somebody would be in master in law and they want to do international business, then it's interesting. But if you come from international business and then continue international business, I don't have actually your files, but honestly, we will look at it not as a first choice. I prefer to be frank.
Even if like I did two different master, like my first master one was in project management and the second was in commerce international, even that wouldn't change a thing.
As I mentioned, I mean, our goal is to bring our students to master level. If students, applicants are already a master level, and with an applicants who don't have a master level, and we consider this actually, we can compare. They are both at the same level. We prefer to give the opportunity for somebody who doesn't have the master level to go into our program.
Makes sense. Okay, thank you very much.
Alice has raised his hands.
Yes, thank you very much for the presentation. I was wondering how many non-Dauphine students would join the program during the second year of masters, and of those, how many would be able to do an apprenticeship if that's what they chose to do.
The numbers is not really definitely set today, but I would say 15 to 20 students external from Dauphine.
During the second year of masters, or
yes.
during the
during the second year master. Then the next person, Asia.
Hello.
Hello.
So I had a question regarding if I could be, is it possible to join the program directly in M2, so directly international business, as I did Master 1 in IAE, and it was totally taught in English, and it's in international trade. Could I possibly join directly M2?
If you have the requirements regarding a gap year, as well as international experience or mobility, yes, there's possibility to apply.
Okay, but I did not do a gap year. I just did two semesters abroad in the US, and I'm currently in the US studying there, but I didn't do a gap.
The gap year is strongly recommended to all our students when they are in first year of master. So we are applying the same conditions and the same requirements to external students.
So maybe I should apply directly to M1 then.
Yes, you can double M1, or you can go a gap year now and next year to apply.
Okay, thank you so much.
There's a question of Guillaume.
Yes, thank you very much for the very clear presentation. My question is it possible for French students with an international double degree to apply in Master 2, as I know it's possible in some other schools? And I wanted to know what is the politics here.
Can you repeat the question, because I had a problem of communication, sorry.
Oh, okay, sure. No, my question is, can French students with an international double degree apply as international students in M2 in the international way?
If you have a French and foreign degree, that means a double degree because of a partnership of a French institution, you are not considered as an international student. You will be considered as a French student.
Okay. No, it makes sense. It's just that I know that in some schools it's possible, but theirs it's not, so it's fine. Thank you very much.
Marion Lecomte.
Yes, thanks for the presentation. I had a question about the letter of recommendations. There's a slot on the My Candidature platform that's for a letter of recommendations, and I was wondering if they're mandatory, and if yes, if you're looking for something specific or not.
No, we are not looking for anything specific. The letter of recommendation is somebody is actually taking responsibility to tell the good things about your application.
Okay.
Or about your personality.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Maybe I can say one word about this. It's not a general example, but maybe I can share that for my own cover letter for my own application. I allow myself to be a little bit original, and it worked because I'm here. So I think Denis said it's important that you show your personality. I think it works. One aspect of the program is that we have a lot of diversity. So don't be afraid to show who you are and not do something too generic.
Okay, thank you.
And this is the reason why we say don't use just ChatGPT to do your letter.
Someone asked about school fees for Tongji. So I don't know about Tongji specifically, but if it works the same way as Luis, when you're in your double degree, you pay Dauphine fees, not the international schools fees. So we paid the same as Dauphine students. And Louis students, when they came to France, I think they paid their Louis fee. So you just pay your home university fees.
And when you are in the double degree, you cannot be in the apprenticeship track. Because you cannot do both.
Yes, you cannot be an apprenticeship in M1. But for my case, I did Louis in M1, then a gap year, and now I'm in M2, and in the M2, I'm doing an apprenticeship.
That's possible but not for Tongji. I don't think so.
Yeah, Tongji. Yeah, Tongji is the opposite way around. Someone is asking, do you consider other applications in Dauphine when reviewing our application to the MIB? I know that the year where I applied from Dauphine, the people analyzing the candidature knew if you put them in first or second choice, and the person responsible for the masters at the time, so I don't know how it will be now, Mr. Darpi, but at the time, Mrs. As said that they would mostly consider candidates putting the MIB as their first choice. So they know, I'm not sure if they know which other masters you applied to, but they know which choice you gave the MIB, like the ranking.
But we consider it, even if your application is number 2 and number 3, we will consider it. Because actually the ranking you make today, when you have the interviews, when you are face-to-face with the jury, then you can change your mind. So that's why, I mean, actually, it's very important. This is not frozen. And actually, I think you have the right to change your rank until the last time when actually all the offers will be made. So I don't consider the rank.
Okay, good. If we are in apprenticeship right now in M1, we have to quit our company if we're admitted in M2.
Probably they will have to re-sign the contract.
Yes, because you are changing the centre de formation d'apprenti and the diploma, the degree in which you are registered.
If the firm want to keep you, it's possible.
Yes. It's just more paperwork.
Someone's asking about the M1 interview. I know that, again, I'm not sure if it will be done the same, but our year it was group interviews. We were 4 to 5 people in a group with so the master's director, so now Mr. Darpi, and an MIB alum.
And this year it will be face-to-face individual interviews.
Individual?
Yes.
Okay, so it changed.
And the purpose of the interview is not to know about your resume. We have a resume. We have everything. It's to make you to speak about the resume, about the experience. It's more about to know your personality. We know that actually we have all the documents. So the objective is to more about you, who is behind the resume.
Next question, I think it's for me. It says, is there an alumni networking group specific to this master? But the answer would be yes, and it's something we're working on for the next promotion that will be there. Each year we have we were told it was 2 students. This year there's 3 of us who are in charge of organizing events to connect and help reinforce the networking between the MIB alumni. So we're basically preparing to organize conferences with people who are in Paris. And this is the main challenge we have, is that since we're an international program, a lot of the alumni are everywhere in the world. So it's not so easy to make everyone connect, but we are working on it. We are trying to organize events and trying to strengthen the network. So yes, it exists. Yes, it is valuable. And it's an ongoing process.
And if in the meantime, Alice, you want to speak to any of this year's students, you can reach out to us and we can answer your questions as well.
Yeah, about the question, are the interviews on site or can be done remotely? A lot of people are, as it was the case for myself, I was in Canada when I did my interview. So hopefully and thankfully it can be done remotely.
Someone's asking for applying an M1, is it a requirement to have already had the opportunity to live abroad? I was in class préparatoire before and I arrived this year in Dauphine, so I was not able to do it this year. I think, Mr. Darby, you answered this question already. I think you're expecting a minimum experience abroad. But I know in our class, it ranges from 1 semester abroad to people who live their whole life abroad. So I think it's important to be curious about the international scene. I think it's also important to have had some international experience, but it's not a mandatory requirement to have spent 10 years abroad either, I think.
There's a couple of hand raised. So maybe
yes,
Amanda,
go ahead. Select them. Sorry.
Yeah, Amanda, you can go ahead.
Yes, hi. Thank you for the presentation. I missed a little bit in the beginning, but is it possible to follow the program full in English if I do the alternance format? Because on the website it's stated French for work study, so yeah.
M1 is in French, M2 is in English.
So year 1 is full in French.
Yes.
Okay. What's the level of French required?
The requirement to join a French university is B2.
B2. Okay.
Yes, this is a requirement for all applications in French universities. It's B2 minimum, and of course you need to have a good B2 because you know there are many levels. A good B2, and then after 2 or 3 months with us, you get to C1 very easily.
Okay, yeah. And it's the same for the other programs, also the other master programs. It's the first year master one in French.
The master program, yes, in Dauphine, most of the programs are in French in M1. I think
Okay.
all of them, yes.
Okay. Does for to do the application now, do I have to provide an evidence for B2 in French already, because I'm currently on full-time studies in French here in Paris, and it's possible that I have the B2 level maybe by the start, but right now I'm B1.
You can mention that you are going to get, and you hopefully you get your B2 level in 2, 3, 4 months, and then your admission can be at the condition you provide the certification.
Okay, thank you.
Next question, we have Marianne, if you want to speak up.
Yes, hi, thanks for the presentation. I actually did a question on the chat, but I just wanted to be sure about it. I made my degree in Mexico because I am from here. I did it 4 years in management. Then I took like a 2 years gap for work. And I wanted to be sure if I can apply directly to the M2 in international business, because
yes.
I wasn't sure about it. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Then we have another hand raised, Luna.
Hello, so I'm currently in my last year of bachelor at Dauphine, and I wanted to know if we automatically have access to the interview, or if our record doesn't really is like good enough, we don't even go to the interview.
All Dauphine students need to go through interview.
Okay, thank you very much.
Actually, everybody needs to go into interview. There's a 2-step process. Applications with the files, then there's a first level of admission, which gets you to the interview, and then the second level of admission. En français, on dirait admissibilité, admission.
Okay, thank you very much.
We have Amanda.
Amanda already spoke. Yeah, you can lower your hand now, but there's Nicolo who's raising his hand.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you for your presentation. I hold a bachelor degree in the University of Turin. I did a gap year, and now I'm pursuing a master in alternance at INSEC Business School. I was wondering if I am eligible to apply for the M2 always alternance track.
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
I think so.
Yeah.
You couldn't hear me? I studied. Can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. Yes.
I studied at the University of Turin, and I have a bachelor degree there. Then I did 1 gap year in Spain, and now I'm pursuing alternance in INSEC Business School. And I was wondering if I can apply to the M2 alternance track in Dauphine.
No, you need to go through the first M1.
Okay. Thank you.
There's a person in the chat who asked if I apply in M1 and I've already been working for 2 years and done 2 years of study abroad, do I still need to do a gap year between M1 and M2? On that question, I think that the general rule is that the gap year is almost mandatory for everyone who doesn't do the apprenticeship track from M1. I was also in the case where I had a professional experience prior to MIB, and I didn't want to do the gap year at first, but I have to say that it's quite helpful to do it, because then you have to find your final apprenticeship, which in some cases is a company that you might want to see yourself stay in long term. So it's helpful to do the gap year. And I think that it is possible, if you really don't want to do it, to justify why you don't want to do it. And this can be considered, I believe.
Yes. There's a rule, and then we can look at everything. Definitely, the purpose is to have the best job for you when you get graduated. So more experience is a key thing to get graduated, to get an excellent job. The question is it relevant to include an internship that will start later in the year? Yes, of course. If you have a confirmation. As an international student, would it be possible to choose the apprenticeship track at M2 level but start? I will let Céline to answer to that question, because actually...
Yes. In fact, you can you have to begin in September like the other, but you can do that. The rules is that international student can do apprenticeship, so it's not a problem.
Yes, you need to, I mean, from you need to have a certification, updated certification for the language. There's a question of Marianne. No, did we? It's okay. Arthur.
Yeah, so thank you for the presentation. I would like to know, I have a question about the application. Do you hear me?
Not very well.
Oh.
Go ahead.
So I have a question about the application process. I would like to know how many interviews do we have to go through during the application process?
It's just one interview. It's you apply online, your candidature is looked at, and then if you're admissible, it means that you're invited to take part in an interview. It's just one interview, and then if you make it through the interview, you're selected.
Okay, and I also have a question because I'm an undergraduate student from Dauphine, and I would like to know if it's possible to like join the first year of master in the regular program, then do a gap year, and finally in the second year of the master do an internship.
Yes, it's not an internship in the second year of master's, it's an apprenticeship, alternance. But yes, if you don't join the M1 in alternance, which is the case of most people, you just do the regular M1, then your gap year, and then your M2 en alternance.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
There is one more hand raised. Isia?
Yeah, so I had a question about the application process. If I apply from M1, is my resume and everything, not my resume, but my application is going to be reviewed by you or by the professors of Master 1?
Both, I think.
Both, okay.
Yes, both.
And what competences do you need to, like, what things should set me apart? What do you think is good in a letter of motivation?
I think there's no perfect cover letter. In the masters, currently we're 53 students and we're all very different. So I'm sure that all of us put forward very different things in their cover letters. I think you have to be super honest and authentic about who you are, because you then have an interview where we can see who you are, but definitely showing that you're open-minded, showing that you have interest for international experience, international matters is also very important. And I think maybe also showing that you're a good team player is something that's important when you're part of the MIB, because a lot of our work is group projects, and we also are a class where we do a lot of things together. So group spirit is also something important, but there's no perfect quality for the MIB. I think all qualities are welcome.
Yeah,
I approve, especially the group thing. It's a very good point, Roman.
okay, yeah, thank you.
Do we have more questions? Because actually we are getting to the close of the presentation. The question is from Eric. Can we apply directly for the M2 in initial track? Actually, what we call regular track, not apprenticeship, is mostly for the students who are doing their double degree with Tungji or Luis, or doing their mobility on the M2. Otherwise, all other people are in apprenticeship. This is a 90% situation.
I have a question, please.
Yes.
What kind of French certifications do you accept, or is it just the DELF exam?
Yes, this is a DELF exam we accept.
Do you accept anything else, or is it just this one?
This is a certification solution existing in French.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yassine, Arthur, Roman, do you want to add things for our attendees?
Well, simply maybe as Roman said in the chat, if you have further questions, you can always reach out to us on LinkedIn. On my side, I'll be happy to answer anything. Of course, for the application process, as Denis explained, it's pretty straightforward. Just go for it, try your chance, be authentic, show who you are, and you have your chance.
Yeah, wise words, Arthur. I've got nothing specifically more to add, but I'd also be happy to reply to your questions if you want to reach out.
Exactly, me too.
So thank you, and Celine, of course, is with us, and she can answer to any questions. And if you need any questions during your application time, don't hesitate to send a mail. We'll be happy to answer.
Sorry, could I ask last one question?
Sure, the last one, it's 1 minute.
Could you just quickly, the student of Dauphine of the MIB told me about maybe one of your favorite class you had this year?
Good question. I need a second to think. Roman and Yassine, do you have one?
Thank you.
Oh no, I have mine.
Okay, you go ahead.
For me, it's I guess it was global strategy. It was a special one that we had in September. During 1 week, we only had that class. it was a nice dive into what strategy could be, because it's a very broad topic on the international scale. And I don't know, teacher was great. Activities were cool enough. A lot of case studies in a short time. Loads of fun.
On my side, I would maybe say, surprisingly enough, the blockchain class. I'm not initially with coins and everything, but what's interesting in the MIB is that you have a really broad overview. The classes are extremely varied. And in a lot of classes, you are very proactive because you have to do group projects constantly, study études de cas and stuff like this. And the blockchain one was actually interesting because I knew nothing about blockchain, and now I know a little about blockchain. But it's great because you touch upon topics that maybe you wouldn't talk about if you weren't in a super specific track, and it's pretty rich.
100% agreed.
I think mine would be the data, the business data and mining class that I'm doing right now, because this is something that I can apply in my company because I'm doing a bit of data analytics. So just because I can use it in my company, for me, and the teacher is a bit fun.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for your attention, for your presence, and we look forward for your applications. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.